What up, world? Welcome to a new episode of Wrestling Life. As you know, I am the host, Brian Janeau, and on all podcast platforms everywhere, Brian Janeau Show. Social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, Brian Janeau, uh, Facebook, The Brian Janeau Show, and of course, TikTok. It left and came back. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm not. I'm the low of the low. I don't know. Anyway, it's still TikTok and it's still Brian Janeau Show on TikTok. Go and follow me on all of those platforms, all those social media platforms. But really, where you really can just go is my YouTube channel. Go to Brandon Janeau Show on YouTube. YouTube channel Brandon Janeau Show. Subscribe, comment, like the vids, like the shorts. Comment on the vids, comments on the shorts. It helps me in the algorithm. Let's get into it, man. So, like I said, tonight is Wrestling Life. Now, I already talked a little bit about Wrestling Life that has happened already. I talked yesterday with my family straight through the ropes. Got a chance to be a part of their show. Um, Thank y'all for having me. Tonight is a top 10 list. Now, this ain't just any top 10 list. The Royal Rumble is not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. And the Royal Rumble is always around my birthday, which makes total goddamn sense. So it's only right that I do a top 10 list. Now, last time I did a top 10 list on the Royal Rumble, it was my nine. It was my top 10 list was about the best Royal Rumble matches that was not of the Royal Rumble. Well, tonight is going to be my top 10 Royal Rumble winners. These are my favorite top 10 Royal Rumble winners. I don't care what y'all favorite is. I don't care. I'm sorry to say, but I don't care about y'all favorites. This is my favorites. So let's get into it, man. Y'all already know I do my top 10 list. I go from 10 to 1 in that order, just like that. So let's get into it, man. Number 10, kicking off the goddamn list at number goddamn 10. I can have a list without putting one of my favorite wrestlers on said list, and that is the architect. Oh, yeah, he is a visionary. Oh, you goddamn right. He is Seth freaking Rollins. Seth won the Royal Rumble back in 2019. Yes, pre-pandemic. I know, sounds nuts that that actually happened, but pre-pandemic, Seth Rollins actually won the Royal Rumble. And he went on WrestleMania 35 to go up against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, for the Universal Championship and beat him. It actually beat him, which at that time was just a bunch of fucking hearsay. It actually just didn't happen. But Seth was hot in 2019. He was hot coming into 2019. The man had an incredible IC title run in 2018. They put the Shield back together a couple times and try to get that shit working at some times and do your thing with that. But Seth was on a vendetta to be the man. He was on a vendetta to be the guy. He entered into the Royal Rumble with he was pretty much the favorite. I don't give a shit what nobody said in 2019. Him or Braun Strowman. And that was really pretty much what it was. It was him or Braun Strowman in 2019. And the funny part is that was the final two. And I know some people will sit there and say, Braun should have won that. But they were never going to give the belt to Braun Strowman. Never. He was never going to be Brock. He was never going to be and take the belt from Brock. Seth was the perfect person to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35. And he was the perfect person to win the Royal Rumble because it would have made sense to do it. It made sense to do it. He was coming out of a storyline with Jon Moxley, who at the time was about to leave the company. It made sense to give the Royal Rumble to Seth Rollins. It just made sense. And I would talk about somebody else that also won that night that Seth knows very, very well in his life. But Seth is the person that kicks off this list, and I love the 2019 Royal Rumble. Now, I hated the fact that he got taken out the damn Royal Rumble because of Bobby Lashley, which Bobby Lash. See, people don't talk about the Bobby Lashley elimination at that Royal Rumble. That shit was so fast. Like Bobby Lashley got eliminated so fast in that match. He came out with Leo Rush, got in the ring, charged that set, missed him, set, kicked him over the ring ropes, and he went right over the ropes and fucking hit the ground. Everybody was like, "What the fuck happened? Like, was that supposed to happen?" And Bobby Lashley took this thing out the ring. Like, was that supposed to happen? It was so fucking stupid. You just started. You're like, oh my god, that is the dumbest shit on the planet. Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid. Braun Strowman got taken out in this Royal Rumble. This is also, by the way, the Royal Rumble when Nia Jax got RKO'd by Randy Orton. Yeah, this is the Royal Rumble. He won that Royal Rumble. He won that Royal Rumble where Nia Jax got RKO'd by Randy Orton. He won that Royal Rumble. Don't even think about it. Like you don't even think who won that Royal Rumble. It's set that won that Royal Rumble. Yeah, yeah. And the final two was Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins. Do you know who were the final four of that Royal Rumble? Seth and Braun were the final two. Who was the final four? If I was to tell you the final four was Dolph Ziggler and Andrade, you would think I was fucking delusional. You would think I was fucking crazy. But that was the final four. That was the final four of that Royal Rumble. That shit sounds nuts. Now look at the time capsule. That sounds fucking nuts. That in 2019, a final four of a Royal Rumble was Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, and Andrade. That sounds fucking mental. But that was the final four. Number nine. Number nine. The first time that the WWE Championship was ever put in a Royal Rumble was 1992. Some people say it's the greatest Royal Rumble that has ever been done. It should, because the fucking title was on the line. Who the fuck didn't want to be in that Royal Rumble? But it was won by one man. Woo! Ric Flair. Oh, yeah. 1992, Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble and became WWE Champion. The franchise at one point of WCW, NWA, Jim Crockett Promotions won the best Royal Rumble to a lot of people, the best Royal Rumble ever, and became the WWE Champion, Ric Flair. Now, this is where WWE, Vince McMahon, is completely and utterly stupid because he clearly fucked up. It was so easy. You had two men that literally defined the generation of the 80s, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan. You had them in your house. One had the title and one was your biggest face. And you chose the main event that WrestleMania. Well, Hulk Hogan, yes, and said Vicious. Rest in peace to said Vicious. No diss to Psycho Sid. No diss. But my nigga. My nigga. Lord, 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 Lord. No, the fuck you didn't. No, you didn't. Bro, what the fuck? Everybody was telling you this is clearly the money match in 90s. Early 90s. Still late 80s, 90s residue. And you looked at that and said, that don't work for me, brother. What the fuck are you doing, Vince? It was so fucking dumb. You had Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan right there. Boom, money in your hands, WrestleMania, baby. Boom, money in your hands. And you said Ric Flair's gonna fight Macho Man for the WWE Championship, and Hulk Hogan's gonna actually man event the fucking WrestleMania with Psycho Sid. And that main event is gonna end in you know, non-contest. No contest. Just a DQ. We just gonna end it. Ric Flair still won that Royal Rumble. And that is the thing. The funny part is Psycho Sid and Hogan was like the final 3, 4. And Psycho Sid helped Ric Flair win the Royal Rumble. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Vince McMahon, we should have known then he was senile. We should have known then that motherfucker was senile. We should have known then. But Ric Flair, 1992, won the Royal Rumble, won the WWE Championship. I think that might have been the only time he's actually ever won the WWE Championship too. So yeah, number 8. 05. Let's go to 05. And if you know 05, you know who I'm about to already talk about. In 05, there was this new era. They had the attitude era, and now it's time to switch and go to a new era. And in this new era, it was called the Ruthless Aggression Era. And you needed 2 people to carry this motherfucker. One on Raw, one on SmackDown. And in the finals of this Royal Rumble, we got a chance to see who's about to carry it. And that is the leader of the C Nation, the GOAT, John Cena, the 16-time champion. He was the runner-up in 2005 because he lost to the eventual winner, the Animal, Batista. And that is who comes in at number 8. I used to have this DVD. I used to watch this DVD every day. Every fucking day. When cable was off, I used to watch this DVD. So I know this Royal Rumble. I know this Royal Rumble very fucking well. You want to know who was the final 4 of this Royal Rumble? Edge, Rey Mysterio. Sounds fucking nuts. But Rey was the final 4 of this Royal Rumble. Edge, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, and then Batista. That is literally the elimination order. That is literally the elimination order. Edge eliminated Rey. He spit his ass out the ring, out the air, speared him, threw him out the ring, and then Edge was trying to take out Batista and John Cena together, and then they threw him over the top rope. And then, of course, the wild ass ending of Batista trying to pop, Batista bomb John Cena, and then they kind of tumble over the top rope together and fall out. And then Batista, of course, eventually was spine busted John Cena and then throw him out the ring. But this Royal Rumble is actually really fucking good. People don't remember this Royal. This Royal Rumble was dope. It started with the winner of the last Royal Rumble, Chris Benoit, and Eddie Guerrero. That was the first 2 men in this Royal Rumble. The funny part is, see, this is the funny part. The funny part is early in the night, Eddie Guerrero went in to get his number. He went in to go get his number. This shit is so stupid. He went in to go get his number. And then Ric Flair came. And Ric Flair got his number. He opened the, it is at the time when they used to do the roller and you had to open it and there was the balls and everything. And the number was in the ball. And Eddie popped open, he's like, oh my god, goddamn. Okay, cool. And he got the number. No, Eddie I think was 1, and then Chris Benoit was 2. Either way, it was like a weird ass thing. But Eddie got the number right, and Eddie's like, and you know Eddie, and Ric Flair comes in and he gets the ball, he opens it up, and he looks at the number, and he starts dancing, he's doing his Ric Flair shit, and Eddie kind of like, and Eddie hugs him, Eddie hugs him, and because he's showing everybody the number, and Eddie hugs him, and Eddie takes the man's number. He took Ric Flair's number. He took Ric Flair's number, and Ric Flair's so happy, and he starts showing the number around the room, and everybody got his number like, you happy about that shit? Did, did along, did, did along like, you sure about that player? Ric Flair like, what you mean? He turned, look at the number, his eyes got big in a bitch, Guerrero, Guerrero. Yo, this shit, yo. Then along comes, they find Eddie. It is Triple H and Batista and Ric Flair. And they find Eddie, and he like, hey, Eddie, get this man his number back. What is you doing? And he gives him and Eddie gives him his number back. But then before he leaves, he's like, oh yeah, here. And he gave this man his wallet. And he took this man's number and wallet, bro. Like, his shit was so fucked up. Like, and then Ric Flair was like, what the fuck? I took the wallet? That shit was so fucking funny. Yo, this shit is so funny. Like, this shit was so stupid. It was so dumb, but this shit was, man, it's just the 2000s, man. This shit was so fucking funny. Yo, that man stole that man number, bro. Ric Flair came in at number 30. Eddie came in at 1. And stole his number. That shit was crazy. Yeah, this Royal Rumble was dope. They did a Raw versus SmackDown face off at one point. Dope. Like, that shit was fire. Kurt Angle came in, just tossing everybody out, Angle slamming everybody, and then got sweet chin music out the ring about Shawn Michaels, and which set up WrestleMania 21 between him and Shawn, which is still one of the greatest goddamn WrestleMania matches of all time. And of course, like I said, John Cena and Batista both ended up going to WrestleMania and winning the belts. So the 2005 Royal Rumble, and Edge, who was the third runner-up, who was the third person, they got the second to last person that got eliminated. He won Money in the Bank. Rey Mysterio fought Eddie Guerrero, which was one of the best openings to a lot of people, one of the best openings to a WrestleMania ever. So 2005 Royal Rumble is the shit. If you've never seen it, go watch it. It's actually one of my favorite Royal Rumbles of all time. So, and yes, because I watched it a lot when I was a kid. So yeah, I love this Royal Rumble probably to death. Number 7, 2019. Huh? See, when I said that I was gonna get back to 2019, I bet that shit. Because 2019 wasn't just the year that the architect, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins won. It was also the year his wife won. The man, Becky Lynch. Becky lost the night early that night to Asuka. People forget Asuka had the Raw Women's Championship. I think at the time, the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think at the time. Yeah, because Becky wasn't on Raw yet. She had the SmackDown Women's Championship, and Asuka beat Becky earlier that night. So Becky kind of was, you know, Becky wasn't going to be in the match. So Becky lost, and then I think Camilla got hurt. Yeah, Camilla got hurt. She was the 30th entrant, and Camilla got hurt. I think walking up the somebody hit her and something, and she twisted her ankle or some shit. I don't know how it was somehow, some way, something. But Becky came out, and Becky was like, "Shit, let me take over for Camilla." And Adam Pierce, Adam Pierce like, fuck it, go ahead and do what you gotta do, go. And Becky entered into the Royal Rumble, and that is how Becky won this Royal Rumble. Now this Final Four, I can't remember who it was. Charlotte was one because Becky eliminated Charlotte. Nia Jax was also in this Raw. She was eliminating a lot of people. I think that she was the one that eliminated. No, no. Yeah, Becky. No, no. Nia did not hurt Camilla. Camilla did something happened. Somebody took Camilla out, and she couldn't get in the ring. But Becky, Charlotte, and Nia was one of the three of the four. I can't remember the other woman who was the fourth. Might have been Bianca, which is crazy to say. I think it might have been Bianca. Yeah, I think Bianca was the one of them. Cause she was in NXT. Or was it Rick? It was one of them. Somebody was in there. Might have been Alexa. I don't fucking know. But Be- Becky eliminated Charlotte to win the Royal Rumble, which was at the time so unheard of. At that time, that was very unheard of. And she eliminated Charlotte. She eliminated Charlotte and won the Royal Rumble. And of course, everybody knows that it really didn't mean nothing because Charlotte still ended up in the Royal Rumble because she is the one that actually dethroned Asuka. She beat on a random ass SmackDown, took the belt, and then it was Charlotte versus Ronda versus Becky. I don't know how Charlotte ended. I forgot how Charlotte even ended up in that fucking match. I forgot how that shit even went. But Charlotte ended up in that fucking match. See, that's the weirdest part of it. I forgot how Charlotte even ended up in that triple threat match. Does anybody remember how Charlotte even ended up in that match? Because really, Becky won, went to Ronda the next night on Monday Night Raw. And was like, I'm not like Seth. I don't need all that time to figure it out. I want to fight you. I think Becky got suspended. Some shit. She got suspended, and they were trying to give it to Charlotte. It was like some stupid ass shit. That shit was so stupid. How that shit got to be. But Becky still ended up with the two belts at the end of the night, so I don't give a fuck. But Becky at 2019 Royal Rumble, that was dope. That was a pretty cool night to see her win, and it was one of the first times where the women's Royal Rumble match was actually better than the men's. That was the first night that the women's Royal Rumbles match was actually better than the men's. Kind of a trend, don't you think? Anyway, coming in at number 6. Speaking of somebody that just won the Royal Rumble and never looked back, Rhea Bloody Ripley, 2023. Now, I'm gonna say this right here, right now. Cody Rhodes is not on my list. Cody Rhodes is not on my list. Why? Because it's fucking predictable. Cody was very predictable. I'm gonna be honest with you. It was no appeal. There was no shock. He came in at number 30. 30. He came in 30 the first time he won in 2023, and then last year he came in at like 15 or some shit, 16, 17, some shit, some crazy, some midway number, and he came in and won. Whoop de freaking do. Like I love Cody. Cody's one of my favorites, but it's just like, bro, it was no intrigue to that shit. Going and then on top of that, the ending of it all was not even special. It wasn't special. It was cool. It wasn't special. It was cool. Riz was doper. Rhea came in at like 2. People forget Riz started this shit with Liv. I think Riz was actually 1 and Liv was 2. Because Liv kept saying, I want to start the Royal Rumble. I want to start the Royal Rumble. This is around Liv saying, I want to start the Royal Rumble. I want to start the Royal Rumble. I want to prove to everybody I can win the Royal Rumble. From 1 to 2, from I could be the first Iron Woman to win the Royal Rumble. And she was 2, but Rhea was 1. Rhea came out and dominated. And her and Liv, see, people don't understand. This fucking rivalry between her and Liv been going for a good bit. People keep thinking it was just this moment. No, man, that shit been going for a bit. Rhea eliminated Liv. Rhea eliminated Liv to go to WrestleMania and fight Charlotte. This 4 was the 4 of the. I can remember the 3. I know Oscar was one of them because Oscar put the mist in Liv's eyes and she got blinded, and then Rhea took Oscar out. I forgot who the fucking other person was. I forgot the who the 4th person was. I can't remember. I can't remember who the other person was. But I know it was Oscar and Liv and Rhea. That was three out of four because Oscar sprayed the mist in Liv's face, and she got blinded. But Rhea took Oscar out, and then she kind of like she did like some crazy gymnastic move and threw Liv out the fucking ring, and Oscar and Rhea won, and everybody went fucking nuts. They were so happy she won, and that's the thing, man. Rhea winning the Royal Rumble that year was fucking great. I love that Royal Rumble because again, the Royal Rumble, the women's Royal Rumble was fucking better. It was so much better, man. Liv in Real went the distance. They went like an hour and some. Like they went like that was a good bit. They were like in that bitch for like an hour and like 30, like an hour and excuse me, hour and 5 minutes, hour and 12 minutes, some shit like that. It was a crazy amount of time. Bailey broke the record last year, but they were in that bitch for a good bit, man. They were in that hole for a good bit. So yeah. But people that sit there and say, "Oh, the living real shit just started with the Judgment Day shit." Nah, this shit been going like. But yeah, real winning the Royal Rumble in 2023 kickstarted the real uh, dominance. Of course, she went on to WrestleMania 39, fought Charlotte in one of the greatest matches. I don't want to say women, one of the greatest matches I have ever seen. So yeah. So before I go to my top five, I gotta recap it. I gotta recap it. Midway point. At number 10 was Seth freaking Rollins' 2019 Royal Rumble victory over Braun Strowman. That's who we eliminated to win the Royal Rumble. Ric Flair is number 9 in 1992, the first person to win the Royal Rumble and become WWE champion because the belt was vacated at the time. He won the Royal Rumble and the WWE championship. The person he threw out was Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that shit sounds nuts, but it happened. Number 8, Batista was in 2005. Batista won the Royal Rumble in 2005. He also won it in he also won in 2015, but I don't really, rate that Royal Rumble too much. Um, no, matter of fact, yeah, Batista won in 2005. Yeah, I'm not tripping. I know I'm not tripping. Because Brock Lesnar won in '03. Chris Benoit won in '04. Batista won in 2005. Yeah, I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. Okay. So 2005, Batista won it. And the person he eliminated was John Cena to win the Royal Rumble. Both of them went on to win the titles at WrestleMania 21, so it really didn't really matter that much. But it elevated three people that night: Edge, John Cena, and Batista. People forget that Edge won the Money in the Bank briefcase and then went on and had an incredible career after that. So yeah, I mean, not saying like his career wasn't great before that, but it elevated. It elevated. 2019, it was the women's turn. Ladies took center stage. I mean, technically they didn't. 2018 was the first women's Royal Rumble. I know people think why Oscar's not on here. I didn't really watch that women's Royal Rumble like this one, like these. Becky 2019. Becky eliminated Charlotte Flair to win the Royal Rumble. Yeah, and technically was the first woman to go from 30 to win a Royal Rumble. I mean, even though Camilla was actually the 30th entrance, but Becky took her spot, so she's actually the 30th woman. So yeah. Number 6 was Rhea Ripley's turn, and she is the first person to go bell to bell. Number 1 in the Royal Rumble. She is the first woman to go bell to bell and win the Royal Rumble. And that was in 2023. And of course, her and Becky both went on at WrestleMania 35. Becky won and became Becky Two Belts. And Rhea dethroned the Queen Charlotte Flair and took the torch from the Queen Charlotte Flair in 2023. Yep, it happened that way. Number 5. There has never been a person that has been more deserving of a moment because of what he had to go through in 2020 than Drew motherfucking McIntyre. The best, one of the best heels. I won't say he's the best heel, but one of the best heels in wrestling right is Drew fucking McIntyre. His arc started here. In 2020, here in Houston, Minute Maid Park, Drew McIntyre won, to me, the last real good men's Royal Rumble. I'm gonna keep it a beam. That was the last real good men's Royal Rumble. That was the last one. It was the last one. You had Drew win in 2021. I mean, Drew won in 2020. Edge won in 2021, but that was the pandemic one. No fans, no nothing. Just Edge started at what, like one. The shit was so stupid. I don't get it. But anyway, Drew was that was the last real good men's Royal Rumble. Edge in 2021. You had Brock Lesnar in 2022, and then Cody for the last 2 years. This was the last real good Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar dominated for most of the Royal Rumble. He threw out like 14 fucking people by himself. And then Ricochet came out, kicked him in the balls, and then Drew McIntyre Claymore the shit out that boy. And after that, it was on. The way that nigga threw Ricochet out the ring. The way he threw Ricochet out the fucking ring. Oh my god. That's how you bury somebody. That nigga flew this nigga out the ring. That nigga said, man, fuck this nigga, bro. That nigga flew that nigga. I said, oh no. Flew that nigga out the ring. And after that, it was on. Of course, this is the Royal Rumble where Edge finally came back. This Royal Rumble picked up so quickly in the second half. Edge came back. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins was the Messiah. He was starting to become the Messiah at this time. So he had AOP and Buddy Matthews with him. Man, this fucking Royal Rumble was the shit. It's the shit. Drew McIntyre, the final four of that Royal Rumble was Randy Orton, Edge, Roman Reigns, and Drew McIntyre. And Drew eliminated Roman. Claymore kicked the fuck out that nigga and threw his ass out the ring. I ain't never cheered so hard for my life for Drew McIntyre. That motherfucker, bow! Oh, like, oh shit. Yeah, that is the last real good men's Royal Rumble. Let's keep it a beam. That was the last good one. Let's keep it on. Let's keep it 100. That was the last real good men's Royal Rumble. It really fucking was. It really fucking was. By the way, the women's winner of this Royal Rumble that year was Charlotte Flair. You know who she fought at WrestleMania 36? 30, yeah, WrestleMania 36? Rhea Ripley. Sounds fucking nuts. I was so looking forward to that match. I was so looking because I knew what Rhea could do in NXT. I had watched Rhea for a good bit in NXT. And that match at WrestleMania 36, it wasn't bad. And I don't think a lot. I think a lot of people sit there and but it wasn't WrestleMania 39. I'm gonna be honest. It was not the WrestleMania 39 match. It wasn't. But it wasn't bad. But the fact that Charlotte won the Royal Rumble when you had Shayna Baszler, who was the hottest NXT star at the time, coming into the main roster, and you let her get eliminated, you just sitting there like, what the fuck? Yeah, that wasn't a good idea. That was a really, and then she went into the elimination chamber and single handedly eliminated every fucking woman just to lose to Becky at WrestleMania. And then literally the next couple weeks later, Becky revealed she was pregnant, and Shayna didn't even win the Money in the Bank. Oscar won it. That's how you kill a push. What I'm trying to say is that's how you kill a push. That's how you fucking dead shot a push. God Almighty. Thank God they didn't do that with Drew. Shit. Thank God they didn't do that with Drew. Drew went on to WrestleMania 36 and beat Brock Lesnar, which again is damn near impossible. You beat Brock Lesnar. It's not just because Brock is Brock, but you know what? Vince back there booking this shit, he was never gonna push you if he didn't believe that you could actually carry it. So yeah, even then, he probably wouldn't have given it to Drew. But Drew won the Royal Rumble in 2020, the last real good men's Royal Rumble. I'm gonna be 100. That was the last really good men's Royal Rumble. Let me say that shit one more time. That was the last good men's Royal Rumble. Hopefully this year, everybody's been saying this is gonna be the Royal Rumble. Hopefully this year, the men's Royal Rumble prove to me that they should be the main event, the headliner, the close out, the cream of the crop. Because if not, these women go out here again and shine on your ass like the stars that they are. Hey, my nigga, wrap it the fuck up. Put these men at the beginning and put the women at the end. Put that shit in the trunk. We good. We can move on. We can move on. Number four. Number four. A lot of emotion went into this one in '06. And if you know who won in '06, you already know where I'm going with this. Rey Mysterio started the Royal Rumble with Triple H. At Triple H was one, Rey was two. And they went out there and had and Rey at the time, I think Gunther has surpassed it. But at the time, Rey had the record for the longest Royal Rumble appearance, the longest Royal Rumble. Uh, yeah, he accumulated the longest run time in a Royal Rumble. Actually, I think Rhea broke it, and then Rhea broke it, and then Gunther broke that. So yeah, um, Gunther broke that, and then Rhea somehow some way that shit happened. But but Rey in '06, of course, Eddie passing a couple months before. It just everything went into that to that uh to that situation, man. And Rey won the Royal Rumble, and of course, everybody knows who he threw out to win: Randy Orton. Now, this is where stupid shit happens, right? Because then Rey put up his Royal Rumble win against Randy Orton and lost at No Mercy, No Way Out in '06. And Kurt Angle was the champion. And you just sit there and you be thinking to yourself, like, this shit didn't make no sense. Why did you make that shit even harder? But Ray won the Royal Rumble in '06. It was great. It's a great moment. It's still a feel good moment of all time when it comes to wrestling history. Ray winning the Royal Rumble in '06 is one of the greatest things to ever happen. Uh, so much emotion, like I said, went into that, and you just gotta be very, very proud of that and very, very happy about that. Coming in number three is my favorite Royal Rumble of all time. Number three is my favorite Royal Rumble of all time. The 2007 Royal Rumble. It ain't just my favorite Royal Rumble match. It's like my favorite Royal Rumble. This was the first Royal Rumble I think I ordered on pay-per-view for my birthday. So this holds a special place in my heart. This Royal Rumble was so fucking good. I think you had Batista and Mr. Kennedy before they killed his push. You had the Hardy Boys versus Eminem. Yeah, that shit in the ladders match, that shit was nuts. They broke Joey Mercury's nose in that fucking match. That shit was crazy. And then of course you had the Royal Rumble, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, did this Royal Rumble live up to the fucking hype. 2007 Royal Rumble. We all know who won it. It's the dead man, The Undertaker. He won it from 30. The first person to ever win a Royal Rumble at 30 was the goddamn Undertaker. Yep, that's how it's supposed to be. Do you know who he threw out to win that Royal Rumble? San Antonio's very own Shawn Michaels. But that final four, you had Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker, and rated RKO, Edge and Randy Orton. Man, what the man? Fuck yeah. Like, fuck yeah. Let's go. That Royal Rumble. in 2007 is still one of the greatest Royal Rumbles of all time. I will put that Royal Rumble up against any Royal Rumble you want to. The 2000s, maybe 2001 Royal Rumble. Like, yo, man, it's probably one of the greatest Royal Rumbles ever from start to front to fucking finish. It's one of the greatest Royal Rumbles. One of the greatest Royal Rumbles. Again, I will argue that. And then have the Undertaker win the Royal Rumble, throwing out the Great Khali, who was a fucking unstoppable monster at the time. Him throwing out the Great Khali, bro. It was one of the greatest Royal Rumbles of all time, easily. And number two, speaking of the 2001 Royal Rumble, it is the last Royal Rumble that the one and only Stone Cold Steve Austin won. You know what's crazy? Is I was at this Royal Rumble. I was 7 years old. It was my birthday. It was my seventh birthday. I went with my dad, my pops, and my brother Ricky, and we went to this Royal Rumble. This shit, being there to watch Stone Cold win his last Royal Rumble. And I remember when Stone Cold hit Kane with the chair and he threw his ass over the rope and the crowd went fucking nuts. Holy shit, we lost our shit. One of the greatest Royal Rumbles to ever happen. It still holds. Like I said, the show from top to bottom is still one of the greatest Royal Rumbles ever. You had the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian. You had one of the greatest ladder matches of all time, Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental Championship. You had Kurt Angle versus Triple H. And then in the Royal Rumble, you had The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kane, who was a fucking monster. I was watching Kane throw these motherfuckers out the ring. Like, Kane held that fucking record for like a decade. I was there that night when he did it. Like, it's just like, I remember when Raven and all them came down and Kane took the trash can lid and bang Raven over the fucking head. Yo, that shit. Drew Carey came out, and my dad was like, "Motherfucker, that's Drew Carey." And he really, is he really getting this Royal Rumble? He got in the ring. Oh man, that shit was so funny. Oh man, that night was great. That was a great night. But to see Stone Cold win his last Royal Rumble, it don't feel real. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like I actually was there. But that was my seventh birthday. I'm gonna be 31. 24 years ago, bro. Damn. That shit sounds absolutely fucking nuts. But yeah. So that holds a different place in my heart. It really does, man. Of course, now my dad not being here, yeah. That Royal Rumble different. That's a different Royal Rumble for me. Definitely. And then number one, from definitely one of the greatest to ever do it, Stone Cold Steve Austin, to another great that ever did it. And that is John Goddamn Cena in 2008. You knew he was going to be on this list. Y'all knew he was going to be on this list. I could have went with the 2013 Royal Rumble because actually, that's actually a better John Cena Royal Rumble. He actually came in at a particular number and they came in and actually finished the Royal Rumble. But 2008 Royal Rumble is just different. The fucking the fact that the man tore his pectoral muscle 4 months before, the fact that the man recovered that goddamn fast, and then on top of that, you had Triple H trying to get into the Royal Rumble and do everything he had to do, go through all these hurdles, and then he finally got into the Royal Rumble at number 29, and he's about to beat the hell out of everybody, win the Royal Rumble, go to WrestleMania, face Randy Orton, and then John Cena. And they say this all the time when I see this video, and it's so true. This was one of those times where you saw how much people really did fuck with John Cena. Because at the time, John Cena wasn't Super Cena. He was just John Cena. But you were booing him. You started to boo him around this time. But when that music hit in Madison Square Garden that night, oh nigga, you couldn't tell people that they didn't miss that man. Oh my God, they cheered his ass like he was a part of the Knicks. That nigga came out that bitch just standing there and they looked up and yo, they Triple H was like, yo, I know goddamn well this nigga didn't just come back. How dare this motherfucker? Yo, that shit was fucking legendary, bro. Oh my God, that was so good. It was so good. It was so good. John Cena winning in 2008 is probably one of the greatest Royal Rumbles of all time. And then on top of that, for him to throw out, and this is the final four, Kane, Batista, and Triple H, and John Cena. And the last person he threw out was Triple H. Now, of course, he did not go on to WrestleMania and win the damn belt. You know what's crazy is that everybody on his list went on to WrestleMania and won the belt except John Cena. Stone Cold won the belt from The Rock at WrestleMania 17. Taker beat Batista at WrestleMania 23. Ray beat Randy Orton and Kurt Angle in 2006. Drew beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 36. Uh, Rhea beat Charlotte at WrestleMania 39. Becky beat Charlotte and Rhea at WrestleMania 35. Batista beat Triple H at WrestleMania 21. Ric Flair won the title. I think he lost it actually. He was actually the champion going into WrestleMania, but lost to the Macho Man. Macho Man. It set beat Brock Lesnar. So it's just like John Cena is the only one that won the Royal Rumble and didn't win the belt. It's the craziest shit. That is nuts. That is crazy. I didn't even realize that shit until I just realized it. I just did it, and I was just like, God damn, that's kind of crazy. Everybody on this list either was the champion going in or won the belt at WrestleMania, except John Cena. But he has the greatest Royal Rumble win of all time. It's the greatest one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's the end. Number one. So let me recap before I get off this list. Number one is John Cena in 2008. Number two, Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2001. Number three, Undertaker in 2007. Number four, Rey Mysterio in 2006. Number five, Drew McIntyre in 2020. Number six, Rhea Ripley in 2023. Number seven, Becky Lynch in 2019. Number eight, Batista in 2005. Number nine, Ric Flair in 1992. And of course, Seth freaking Rollins is at number 10 in 2019. That is the end of this list. I'm officially done. This Saturday, it is Saturday Night Main Event. And of course, the next week after that, it is the Royal Rumble. But until then, I am Brian Janu. I'm Brian Janu. This is Wrestling Life. Go watch all of these wins. Go watch them. It's on YouTube. So go watch them. Till next time, I am Brian Janu. Peace.